So soil profile. Soil profile forms in layers. If undisturbed, soil will show definite layers. This cross section of soil is called as the soil profile. So soil has different layers. You remember when we were doing the formation of soil, at that time also we saw it had different layers. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. It has different horizons. So soil has different layers. Okay, soil is formed in because of different layers. And this cross section, please underline this. If if you do not disturb those layers, this particular layers, the cross section of the soil is called as what? It is called as soil profile. Please
Soil
underline this.
profile.
Please underline the entire sentence. It is important. You might get a objective question, any meanings. Okay, in this chapter I also wanted to tell you whatever new words are there, you have in the textbook itself, you have the meaning given, so please refer to that list also, so because you might get a objective question even from there. Okay children, next, okay, let's see the diagram. First let's understand the diagram. Now, how is the soil? How are the different layers of soil? Number one, towards the bottom, you have what? Our horizon. Okay. Our horizon is also called as
Bedrock.
Bedrock.
horizon C.
Parental material.
Okay. Can you
Parent
see?
rock.
Can you see the partly that is a parent material and bedrock is divided by something? Can you see a division?
Yes, ma'am.
Partly bedrock.
Ma'am, parent material has the rocks, ma'am, but in the bedrock, ma'am, it is the soil, ma'am, which is placing the rocks in place.
Correct, correct. Got it? So there, bedrock is the whole one particular rock. It's just having cracks in that. But parent material, you will have small pieces of rocks in that, right? You do not have one whole rock. Yes. Then you have subsoil. Okay. What is subsoil? Compounds draining from above accumulate. This is horizon B. You remember we did three horizons, horizon A, B, and C.
Yes, ma'am.
Formation. All right. And the different, this layer is very much visible, right? Can you make out the difference? The color?
Yes, ma'am.
Soil? Yeah.
Yes.
Above subsoil, you have topsoil. Okay. Topsoil is what? Minerals, particles mixed with organic material. Organic material means, what is organic matter? Who will tell
Ma'am,
me?
organic matter is probably the leftovers of
dead.
animals.
Living
ma'am.
things.
And the dead plants and animals.
Correct. Good. So topsoil is that material where the organic matter gets mixed up with the soil. Okay. Then you have surface layer. Okay. Surface layer, organic debris, partly decomposed, horizon O. Can you see R, C, B, A, and O horizons? So each layer have different name, different horizons. All right. The surface layers. Surface layer is through which you all can grow what? Plants. Yes. The topmost layer. Now let's study each of these. Have you understood the diagram?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now we'll study each of these in detail. Number one, this solid layer of unbroken rock is the bottommost layer. So bedrock is the bottommost layer and it is unbroken rock. The rock is in a complete form. It's not broken into pieces. It determines the composition of soil as it contributes material for soil formation. Please underline this. The first sentence, solid layer is of unbroken rock and it is the bottommost layer and it contributes material for soil formation. Okay. So see the diagram once again. Bedrock. Can you see the whole
Unbroken
rock
rocks means those big pieces of rocks, no, ma'am?
No, unbroken. You can only see the cracks in the rock. The rock is not broken.
But they're not broken.
Yeah, can you see there are just cracks in it, but it's not broken. Okay, it's whole one rock. All right. Next is
ma'am.
It's only a one rock and it has cracks.
correct. Next is parent material or substratum. Okay, weathered rock. Now this layer lies above the bedrock and below the subsoil. It consists chiefly of weathered rocks. Please underline this. It consists chiefly of weathered rock. Now, where is parent material?
Ma'am, on top of bedrock and below subsoil.
Subsoil. Very good. It is on top
No,
of
ma'am,
bedrock
above
and it is,
subsoil and below bedrock.
yeah.
No, ma'am, it is below
It is
subsoil.
above bedrock and it is
And
below
below subsoil.
subsoil. Okay. Please underline above bedrock and below subsoil. Yeah. Now we will see subsoil. This lies above the parent material and below the topsoil. Please underline above parent material and below the topsoil. So if at all you get a question based upon this in your exam, it is very easy to answer. Even if you remember the diagram and the different layers, so you just need to confirm, okay, make your own answer. Okay, this layer is above this and below this. Automatically your 1 point is created, right? Next, it consists of finer particles of rock, clay, and silt. Please underline. So in subsoil, what do you have, children?
Ma'am, particles of rock, clay, and silt.
Yes.
Ma'am,
rock,
what is
clay.
silt, ma'am?
Who will tell me what is a silt? Who will tell me what is a silt? Let's see. Who can tell me what's a silt? The topsoil. The uppermost layer comprising the soil as we see it and also comprising organic material is called humus. We've heard about, we've done humus before also. So what is a humus? It is the uppermost layer of the soil. Okay. And what is there in humus? It contains organic material in that, okay, which is called as humus. Please underline uppermost layer comprising organic material called humus. Okay, the surface layer of the top soil that contains organic matter is the most fertile layer in which plants grow. Okay, so the topmost layer, that is the topsoil, what happens is this, since it contains organic matter, the definitely it will lead to a fertile soil, and if the soil is fertile, then you can grow
Plants can
your
grow
own.
easily.
Very good. You can grow your own plants. Please underline this. Topsoil contains organic matter. Because of organic matter, the soil becomes fertile, and because of that, you can grow plants. Please underline. Clear soil profile?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So now we've already completed soil profile. You all start doing the activity. Okay, I'll brief you about the activity after this session. Now let's continue with soil erosion. We've done erosion before as well. What do we mean by erosion? Let's
Ma'am,
see.
erosion means removal of anything, ma'am.
Anything means what? In geography terms, how will you define erosion? Anything what? What does erosion mean? And erosion will take place in how many forms?
Ma'am, soil erosion first.
Yes.
Ma'am, then wind erosion.
Very good. Wind erosion.
Water erosion.
Water erosion. Okay. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we will see soil erosion. Soil erosion is the removal of the layers of the topsoil by natural human agents. Okay, so what happens in soil erosion? The topmost layer of the soil gets removed. How? By natural and human agents. And when this happens, what happens? What is the result of that?
Ma'am, they reduce fertility.
Yes, the fertility of the soil is reduced. Please underline this entire sentence. Soil erosion is what? It is the removal of layers from the topsoil. And how it is removed? It gets removed because of the natural and human agents. And what is the result of it getting removed? Is
reducing fertility.
Reducing fertility. Now we will see soil erosion, the various factors because of which soil erosion takes place. Number one, physical factors. Slope of the land, if the land is in a slopy format, so what do you think, there will be soil erosion?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Ma'am, because
right.
the soil will roll away, ma'am, due to the
Right,
slope.
right. It gets washed away. If at all it's a slopy platform, and if it is raining, then automatically the topmost layer will get. So this is something natural.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
The slope of the land, soil along the slopes of hills and mountains is either washed away by water or they are blown away by winds. So this can either happen through water or through winds. Please underline, slopes of hills and mountains is either washed away by water or they are washed away by or blown away by winds. So this is the physical factor. Next, intensity of rainfall. For example, if there's heavy rainfall and continuous rainfall, what happens because of that? The heavy rainfall,
Ma'am, the water
away.
will wash away the top
Yes,
soil.
the water will wash away many nutrients from the soil, and it will leave the soil barren, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can make out, where the places or the areas where there is, heavy rainfall or continuous rainfall, the condition of the soil, how it
Ma'am, that's why too much of water is not good for plants.
not good for plants. Very good. So this is again the physical factor and the natural factor. Please underline, heavy continuous rainfall wash away the nutrients, and because of that the soil becomes barren.
Barren.
Okay, wind, speed of the wind and moving water. This we did, as Mariam only gave the answer. If there's heavy wind blowing, or if there's the water is, washing it away, washing the soil away very speedily, that also leads to soil erosion. Okay, now let's see. Wind and water are powerful agents of erosion that pick up the soil particles and deposit them far away from the origin. Have you witnessed this? You must have seen, for example, not soil, but you must have seen, if there's, heavy wind blowing, most of the lightweight materials, they are taken through the wind and they get deposited somewhere. Have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am. And same as with nutrients, ma'am. They blow away those nutrients because nutrients are lightweight.
Nutrients of the soil. So this happens also with the nutrients of the soil. So please underline, wind and water pick up the soil particles and deposit them far away from the origin. Clear? Physical factors?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we'll see what are the chemical factors of soil erosion. The chemical action of water, that is leaching. Okay. Because of that also soil erosion takes place. Now let's see what happens when the water enters the soil. It washes away soluble minerals in the soil and transports them deep into the subsoil. This causes the topsoil to lose the fertility, right? As Mariam said, if there's too much of water, plants won't grow. Why plants will not grow? Because the fertility of the soil, because of the water, what happens? The fertility of the soil, the nutrients, the soluble minerals which are there in the soil, the topmost layer, they are transported deep into the second layer, the subsoil.
Ma'am, in the topsoil, ma'am, the plants usually grow in topsoil, but if the fertility is not there, only the plants won't be able to grow.
Correct. And how the fertility gets loses in the topsoil? What is the process? What happens?
Ma'am, the water comes, ma'am, and it washes the soluble nutrients, ma'am, into the subsoil.
Subsoil. Okay, so this is very important. Underline this. It washes away soluble minerals in the soil and transports them deep into the subsoil. And because of this, what happens? The topsoil, which has fertility, it loses its fertility. And if there's no fertility, plants will not grow. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's see what are the human factors responsible for soil erosion. Now, plants play a very important role. If the places where you do not have plants, you can see lots of soil erosion taking place. So the reason The human factor is deforestation. What people are doing? Large scale destruction of forest land is one of the chief causes of soil erosion. Trees hold the topsoil and prevent erosion. And if you're removing the trees only, definitely it is going
Ma'am,
to
they won't be able to hold the topsoil,
yeah,
ma'am.
they will
And
not be
that's
able to hold the topsoil. So that is
And
one
ma'am, then
factor,
it washes
deforestation.
away.
Yes,
Mm.
Asta?
And ma'am, the soil washes away.
Yeah, then it will get washed away. Please underline
The
this.
soil becomes
Trees hold the topsoil and prevent erosion, and underline deforestation. So you know what is deforestation, right?
yes, ma'am.
Cutting down of the trees and destruction of the forest land. Okay. Now next is unsustainable farming methods also cause soil erosion. Now certain crops deplete the soil and make it dry. If there is no proper rotation of crops, the nutrients do not return to the soil. For example, sugarcane. Let's take an example of sugarcane. Sugarcane is a cash crop. It requires a huge amount of water, and therefore it reduces the fertility of the soil. So if you are aware about different farming methods, farmers do not grow only one crop throughout the year. They change the crops, okay, so that they could maintain the fertility of the soil. They rotate it. Now if the farmers, okay, are not doing proper rotation of the crops to make sure that the fertility of the soil is not lost, what happens is, in that case, soil
And the nutrients go away.
the nutrients will go away,
and soil become dry.
yes, very
It
good. So
becomes dry.
yes, please underline this. If there is no proper rotation of crops, the nutrients do not return to the soil, and it will make the soil dry. Above me, yeah, make it dry. Yeah, underline. And underline this. Sugarcane is a cash crop. Now, sugarcane requires a lot of water. If there's a lot of water, we just studied. If there's too
And
much
the
of water,
topsoil loses its fertility.
the topsoil will lose its fertility. Underline this: huge amount of water resulting in reduction of the soil fertility. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Owing to the given influences, soil erosion can be of two main types. Number one, sheet erosion, and number two, gully erosion. What is sheet erosion? When a large area of the topsoil is washed away due to heavy rainfall. That is sheet. Can you see? The word itself is telling. Sheet erosion means the topsoil, the top sheet gets washed away because of the heavy rainfall.
Heavy rainfall.
Okay, please underline this. Topsoil is washed away due to heavy rainfall. So the top sheet, you can say, it leads to sheet erosion. Now next is gully erosion. When the rainwater erodes the soil in deep furrows, generally in regions of uneven land. So there are certain lands, certain areas where the land is not plain, it is uneven. Somewhere it will be up, somewhere it will be down. Have you seen such land?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what happens because of this? If at all there is, uneven land, there also the water erodes the soil. Okay, because of the unevenness of the land, and this leads to gully erosion. Please underline: rainwater erodes the soil in deep furrows, and underline because why it erodes, because of the uneven land. Just underline uneven land. Okay, in areas where there is uneven land. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next is methods of soil conservation. So how we know, okay, these are the various ways, because of which soil erosion is taking place. But how do we preserve it? How do we conserve our soil? Because soil is very important. If the soil loses its fertility throughout the nation, you will not have proper production. And if there's no production, what are human beings going to eat? Isn't it? We are all interdependent. It's like a cycle. So let's see, how do we preserve soil? Protection of soil from the erosion and loss of soil fertility is called what? Soil Conservation.
Conservation.
What do we mean by soil conservation, children?
Ma'am, protection of the soil from erosion and loss of fertility is
Very
called
good.
soil conservation.
Yes, please underline the definition. So there are various ways through which we can protect our soil. Let's see. Number one is afforestation. What is deforestation and afforestation? What is the
Ma'am,
difference?
deforestation is cutting down of trees. Afforestation is growing of trees.
Yes. So it's completely opposite of deforestation. So we know, okay, if we are cutting down the trees, it is leading to soil erosion. So what will be the solution? We will grow more trees, isn't it? Trees are grown over over a large barren area so that the roots hold the soil together and prevent the soil erosion through wind and water. Clear? Please
Yes,
underline
ma'am.
this entire sentence, afforestation, because where trees are grown to hold the soil together in order to prevent soil erosion. Crop rotation, as we had also seen that, okay, the bad farming practices. So it is the duty of the farmers to make sure that they have proper crop rotation so that they can maintain the fertility of the soil, right? So growing the same crop year after year reduces the fertility of the soil. This we had just seen. And because of this, what happens? The mineral in the soil gets exhausted. Now, so what we can do, what will be the solution? Crop rotation means that different crops can be grown turn by turn. Okay, so that the soil receives minerals from the crop like groundnut and leguminous plants. Please underline this. Crop rotation. What do we mean by crop rotation? It means
growing of different crops in turn so that the soil receives minerals.
Minerals. Please underline. Crop rotation means. So we all know that, okay, because of bad farming practices where if you grow the same crop throughout the year, the soil fertility will be reduced. Underline that also. Growing same crop a year, underline this, soil gets exhausted, minerals in the soil gets exhausted. Okay, so because of that, the minerals in the soil gets exhausted, and therefore we should have proper rotation of crops. Now let's see the example. Planting groundnut in sugarcane field ensures that the soil is enriched with nitrogen compounds. Please underline this example. If you will see, sugarcane crop is such a crop which requires what?
A lot of water.
A lot of water. So now if the farmer keeps on growing sugarcane crop after sugarcane crop, what will happen? The soil,
the nutrients in the soil will get
exhausted. So what the farmer can do, one time if he had grown sugarcane, the next time he can plant groundnuts, okay, instead of growing sugarcane again, so that whatever the fertility of the soil has been exhausted will return back. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Controlling overgrazing. Now, when cattle, goats, sheep graze on the land, the soil is no longer held together by the roots of the grasses. Yes, do you all agree?
Yes, ma'am. Due to their weight, ma'am, and when they pull out the grass for eating, ma'am, the plants get removed.
Yes, and they do it right from the roots for the grasses.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So cattle should not be allowed to graze anywhere and everywhere. Okay, because if they do that, definitely they will take away the grasses from their roots. Once the grasses grows back, it will reduce soil erosion to a large extent. So every time the cattle or goats should not be taken to one particular place. If they should not be allowed to graze any places. A specific place should be given to them so that it reduces soil erosion. Please underline this. Cattle, goats, sheep graze on the land, and because of that, what happens? The soil can no longer be held together. Why? Because whenever they're grazing, they pull out the grasses from the roots. Please underline this. So they should not be grazed anywhere and everywhere. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Alright.
this is why my uncle's father, my father's farm, no ma'am, they
Mhm.
have a separate place for cattle to eat their
Correct.
grasses.
Correct. So it should not be, they should not be allowed to graze anywhere or everywhere, so that they could maintain the soil erosion. Last point we will do, that is counter plowing. Can you see the image? Can you see the image?
Yes,
Can you see
ma'am.
slope, contour, plowing parallel to the contours of hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope? Can you see? Yes. Now,
So, ma'am, that's why they
plowing,
should plant the trees in the slope, ma'am, so that water does not go down, ma'am.
right. So plowing the farmland along the natural slope of a land in hilly areas breaks the flow of water and reduces soil erosion. Okay, so this is also one method which we can use to prevent soil erosion. Please underline the entire sentence: plowing the farmland along the natural slope. What happens because of that? It will help in breaking the soil erosion, right? It will reduce the soil erosion.
Ma'am, it will reduce the flow of water, ma'am, thus reducing
Correct.
soil erosion.
Correct. Got it?
Yes,
Terrace
ma'am.
farming. Have you heard about terrace farming?
Ma'am, these type of gardens are really popular, ma'am, and a tourist
Yes.
destination also.
Yes.
ma'am.
So we'll stop here for
Hmm.
today. It's almost time up. I don't want to take your break time. We'll continue in the next class.